Hey guys, let's face it, marriage isn't easy.
It's really difficult.
Yeah, in fact, if it wasn't, we probably wouldn't be putting these videos out there to encourage you and make sure we're actually
And challenge each other.
focusing on and investing in our marriage, because it's just hard. There's days where you wake up and you don't like each other a whole lot.
It's true.
It wasn't today, of course.
No.
I love you. Not to make too dramatic of a jump, but not only is marriage difficult, but a lot of couples just don't see it through in our world anymore. More than 50% of all marriages end divorce in our country. And unfortunately, that isn't just a statistic for people at large. It seems that churchgoers aren't all that different. Even within the church, we see a 50% or more divorce rate. I recently ran across this study done by the Barna Group, though, that said for couples who pray together regularly, that divorce rate drops all the way below 1%.
That's so cool.
Below 1%. So, I mean, for you to have a healthy and successful marriage, prayer together is a huge, huge step forward. And so this week we want to continue talking about prayer. Last week we talked about praying for your spouse. This week specifically we want to talk about praying with your spouse.
In 1 Thessalonians 5:17, it says, keep on praying. Keep on praying. That's just something that's so simple. You can encourage each other when you're together, when you're apart, when it's difficult, when it's easy. It's just something that should be a continual part of your life, so why not bring your spouse into that part of your life?
Yeah, in fact, Paul is challenging us in all things, just be praying, like connected to God throughout your day. And when you're with your spouse, you should also be in that mindset of connection and conversation with God. And so it's important to carve out time to pray with one another, to encourage one another and to chase after Jesus together.
Aligning your marriage towards Christ in prayer with each other.
It really does. It turns us from just praying for one another to actually focusing and praying together and chasing after God. But let's be honest, it's uncomfortable. Like, we've talked to a lot of you who've said praying with my spouse is just something that's weird. And we've been there. Like, when we first got married, even today, it can be uncomfortable, and I get that. I remember you wanted to pray together before bed every night when we first got married.
You didn't really go for that.
I kind of just let it not happen, truthfully. Maybe it was because prayer is like this intimate and private thing. Like, it's just me and God. And it can be uncomfortable getting outside of that.
And you're vulnerable. I think putting Christ first means that you're not perfect. And so for us to look at each other and say, hey, we're not perfect, we need prayer, can be difficult.
Yeah, I think back to those first few weeks after we got married. We moved in together and had our little apartment, and it was weird sharing the private details of my life, you know, like which direction the toilet paper roll goes on the toilet paper dispenser.
Or the toothpaste.
It doesn't, there's just all of these private matters that end up becoming us things, and it can be uncomfortable at first, but in time it just becomes natural. It becomes second nature. And we hope and pray prayer will be the same thing for you. It might be awkward at first, but it would just become natural.
And we wanted to share something that we do. We call it sharing prayer. So our phones go off 3 times a week. So,
Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday.
And it's a time that we set aside where our kids are asleep, where it's just us, and we share how our day is, share what's going on in our lives, and then we pray for each other. It was really hard at first because it was something that I was like, oh, I'm good, taking care of the kids, and then we pray. But as we continued to do it, it got easier, and I got more vulnerable, and I was able to tell him more like, I'm just really struggling today. Can you just pray for strength or for wisdom or for clarity in how to parent our child or how to talk with friends? So it got easier.
Sharing prayer does a couple of things for us. It opens the lines of communication in a busy week, and then it makes us pray out loud together. And it's just a really important component. I know you're busy, but I also know that you schedule in regular meetings. If you go into an office or if you're taking care of your kids and you have a PTA meeting or something going on at the school or on their team, regular lines of communication are key. And so schedule it, like put it in your phone, in the calendar, so it dings and interrupts whatever you're doing, and it reminds you, hey, you're supposed to be sitting down, sharing and praying with one another. And I think that'll help. It's helped us tremendously. And look, we don't do it all the time. Sometimes that notification goes off and we just get complacent or we miss it. But having a standard format will help tremendously. And we hope and pray that it'll get you guys on the same page, praying together on a regular basis. So that's it for this week. Pray with your spouse. It'll help you, and it'll make your divorce rate much lower. It'll give you a successful and healthy marriage. We can promise you that. This week you're going to be doing some discussion questions. They'll be below, and one of those is going to be a challenge to do the Lord's Prayer together, just to pray out loud together, modeling after what Jesus showed us to do in praying to God. We'll see you guys next week.